Hi lovies, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be looking at how to cut shirt. First thing to do is to fold your fabric into two, and then you mark out 2 inches for your button placket. I fold it into two, and I'm going to be marking out 2 inches for my shirt button placket. That's what I'm doing. You measure 2 inches all around till your shirt length. I'm going to be using size bust 44, waist 40, and hip 48, and the length of my shirt is 28 inches. So we are done folding 2 inches for the button placket. So that's for the button placket. You can see how I fold it. Just follow it, you will enjoy it, and it's easy. So you take your fabric that is on the full side and place it very close to your button placket. If you look closely, I did not place it exactly. I didn't make it equal. I leave like half inches, as you can see. I leave half inches there. Now we need to rule our starting line or your shoulder line. Anyone you call it is fine. So after ruling out our shoulder line or starting line, the next thing I will do is to mark my shoulder length. So the shoulder is 18, divide by 2, I have 9, and I mark out my 9 inches. As you can see, I just mark out the 9 inches. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my shoulder slope. I use 1 inches for my shoulder slope, and that is what I'm doing. Now after marking out 1 inches, I will rule a line and connect it. I slant it to the shoulder line that is there, my starting line. So as you can see, I've slanted the 1 inches to the normal shoulder line that was there. Now I'm not going to be using that first line. I'm going to be using where I have my shoulder slant, and I will mark my body distance. I mark 8 inches for my bust line, and the next line is my waistline. I mark 15 inches for my waistline. Then the third line is my hip line, and I mark 25 inches for my hip line. And the last line is your shirt length. Anywhere your shirt length is, you mark. Mine is 28, and I mark 28 inches for my shirt line, shirt length. And the next thing, I will rule out, connect all that line. I will rule it across my fabric. Please, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe, like, comment, and share, please. And I hope it's helpful for beginners. And now we've ruled out all our lines. These lines you are seeing are for body distance. I'm going to be marking 1 inches at the end there, as you see me doing, to curve my shirt. To curve my shirt. That side, that full folded side, is the back, is the side of my shirt. So I'm going to be folding, I'm going to be curving the side. That is why I mark that 1 inches up there, to give that curve. Now I'm putting my body circumference, my body size. I told you earlier I have bust 44. I marked 11 inches. 44 divided by 4 is 11 inches, and I mark 44 for the bust. Bust 40 divided by 4 is 10 inches, and I mark out my 10 inches for my waist, sorry. And the last one is my hip line. My hip is 48, and I divide by 4, and I have 12. I mark out 12 inches. Now I'm going to be putting 1.5 inches on this fabric. I'm just going to open it because the fabric is not much there. On my waistline, I added 1.5 inches allowance. Bust, I added 1.5 inches allowance as well. That is what I'm chalking. Now I'm going to be connecting all those I mark. That's what I'm doing now. I've connected all my body measurements together. So we've connected everything together, and the next thing I'm going to be doing is to measure that my shoulder 9 inches I measured, and I measured the same 9 inches on my bust line for my armhole. So I connected that to the shoulder line. So I'm going to just use my ruler to carve out my armhole, and that is what you see me doing. I've connected my armhole. So the next thing is to start my neckline. I measured 3 inches for my wideness of my neck, which is shoulder to shoulder. Then this 1 inches is for the back depth. For shirts, you use 1 inches for your back depth. I'm going to be marking, connecting the lines together, and the next one to do is to mark out your deepness for your front, and I mark out 3 inches for the deepness of my front. The 1 inches is for the back, and this 3 inches is for the front neck. So I've connected all the lines together, and I'm going to be cutting that 1 inches from the back. So once I'm done cutting the 1 inches from the back, I'll hold my fabric together and cut the back together as you see me doing. But please take note, if you want to cut your front, please don't add everything together and cut from. You are going to end up having more than what you want. So you have to remove your front separate and cut. So I'm going to be cutting out every other part before coming back to the neck. So we'll be cutting out as you see me doing, just to cut out your chalk. Follow your chalk and cut. Please always try to cut outside your chalk. Just give small space outside your chalk and cut. I told you the fabric here is just very tiny, and I see how tiny I cut there. Then I come down to my shirt length, and then I cut it out. I'm still cutting, and we're done cutting. So now you come back to the neck of your shirt. You see I flip out the back side, and now I'm going to be cutting the front. Please don't hold it together to cut your front neck. Please take note. And then we finish cutting. I notch my bottom placket there, and I also notch it from the down part so that when I want to make my ironing. Thanks for watching.